Welcome to Fluent English Podcast.
From Spoken English Hour.
Grace, quick question before we start. Did you brush your teeth this morning?
Of course I did, James. That's a strange question.
It's not strange, actually. Did you think about it? Did you make a plan? Did you feel motivated first?
No, I just did it. I didn't think about it at all.
Exactly. And that's a little frightening if you think about it long enough.
Frightening? It's just teeth, James.
It's not really about teeth. It's about how much of our life runs on autopilot, without us ever choosing it on purpose. And maybe that's why so many people feel stuck.
They keep waiting for one big moment to change everything, while their small, everyday habits are quietly changing them already, in the background, without permission.
Huh. Now that's a little frightening.
I think about this sometimes late at night, actually. All the small choices I made without noticing, the shows I watched instead of sleeping, the books I never opened, the English lessons I skipped because I was tired. None of those felt like a decision at the time. They just felt like nothing.
But they weren't nothing.
No, they were quietly building the person I am right now, one unnoticed choice at a time. And the strange part is, the opposite is just as true. Every small, boring, repeated thing you do is quietly building the next version of you, whether you're paying attention or not.
That's such a strange kind of responsibility when you put it that way.
Small actions become big results, Grace, whether we're paying attention or not.
And that's exactly what we're exploring today.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Fluent English Podcast from Spoken English Hour.
I'm Grace.
And I'm James. Today we're talking about small habits and how quietly powerful they actually are.
A lot of today's ideas come from a well-known book about habits written by James Clear. We won't read from it directly, but we'll explain the main ideas simply in our own words with our own stories mixed in too.
And yes, real English sentences along the way as always.
All right, James, tell me something. Most people, when they want to change their life, focus on a goal. I want to speak fluent English. I want to lose weight. What's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with wanting it. The problem is, a goal is just a destination. It doesn't tell you what to actually do on a random, tired Tuesday.
So what should we focus on instead?
The system, the small, repeated thing you do daily. Don't focus only on the goal. Build the system.
Say that again. I like that line.
Don't focus only on the goal. Build the system.
Okay, guess something for me now. If someone improved by just 1% every single day, how much better do you think they'd be after a full year?
Maybe 20% better? 30 at most?
Good guess, but mathematically, if you kept compounding 1% daily, you'd end up roughly 37 times better than where you started.
37 times? That sounds made up, honestly.
I know it sounds dramatic, and to be fair, nobody literally becomes 37 times better at everything in real life. It's really just a way of showing something important. Small improvements don't just add up, they compound, quietly the way interest grows in a bank account.
So the number isn't the point. The compounding is the point.
Exactly that.
Grace, can I be honest about something?
Of course.
For years, I studied English in bursts. I'd study hard for 2 weeks, feel like I wasn't improving fast enough, and just quit completely, sometimes for months.
I didn't know that about you.
It's a little embarrassing, actually. I kept expecting some big, obvious jump in my ability, and when it didn't come quickly, I decided I simply wasn't good at languages and gave up.
That's such a common story, though. I think almost every learner listening right now has felt exactly that.
If I had understood this 1% idea back then, I think I would have kept going, even on the slow days, even when nothing seemed to be happening.
Because something usually is happening, you just can't see it yet.
Right. There's actually a well-known real example of this too. A British cycling team years ago. They were performing badly until a new coach came in and searched for dozens of tiny improvements instead of one big secret.
Like what?
Slightly better pillows for sleep, cleaner bike tires, better hand washing to avoid getting sick. They even tested different massage gels and painted the inside of their team truck white just so they could spot tiny specks of dust that might damage the bikes.
Slightly better pillows? That might be the most British Olympic strategy I've ever heard.
It really is. But all those boring 1% changes together, that same team went on to win multiple Olympic gold medals within just a few years. And the strange part is, nobody outside the team even noticed those changes happening. From the outside, it just looked like the same tired cyclists riding the same roads day after day.
Until suddenly, they weren't tired anymore. They were winning.
Exactly. Small actions become big results.
From boring pillows to Olympic medals.
All right, everyone, quick pause for you. Think of one tiny, almost embarrassingly small habit you could add to your day starting tomorrow. Say it out loud right now.
Take your time, we'll wait.
All right, I'm curious now. What's your example?
James, here's a question for you instead. Why do you think some people keep a habit for years without any effort at all, while other people, like you and your English studying, keep starting and stopping?
Maybe the people who succeed just have more willpower.
That's what most people assume, actually, but it's usually not about willpower at all. It's about how the habit gets triggered in the first place.
What do you mean?
There's a simple loop happening in your brain every time a habit runs. First, a cue, something that reminds you to act, then a craving, a feeling of wanting something, then the response, the actual action, and finally a reward, some small good feeling afterward.
Cue, craving, response, reward.
Right. And people who keep a habit for years usually didn't rely on willpower. They just built a strong, obvious cue into their day, so the habit almost runs by itself.
So it's less about being disciplined and more about designing your day well.
Exactly. Which brings me back to my earlier question. Any guess why some habits stick and others don't, even when someone genuinely wants both?
Maybe because one is connected to something they already do and the other isn't?
Very close. It's called habit stacking. You attach a brand new habit onto something you already do automatically.
Give me an example.
After I pour my morning coffee, I will say 3 English sentences out loud. The coffee habit is already automatic, so the new habit just borrows that same trigger.
After I do the thing I already do, I will do the new small thing.
Exactly that pattern. Try it yourself, everyone. Think of something you already do daily without fail and attach one tiny English habit onto it right now, out loud.
Mine would be, after I brush my teeth at night, I will read 1 page of an English book.
That's a good one. See how small it feels? Almost too small to matter? That's actually the point. If it feels too small to fail, you'll actually keep doing it. Actually, a friend once told me a story connected to exactly this idea. She said she'd tried learning English for years, on and off, always with big plans that never lasted more than a week.
What changed for her?
She stopped trying to build a new routine from nothing. Instead, she looked at what she already did every single day without fail. In her case, it was making tea, twice a day, always the same time.
So she attached something small onto that.
Exactly. After I pour my tea, I will say 1 English sentence describing my day. Nothing more. Just 1 sentence, twice a day.
That's almost suspiciously small.
I know, but she told me something that stuck with me. She said, for the first time, English wasn't a separate task fighting for space in my day. It just became part of my tea. 6 months later, she was having real conversations with English speakers online, still using that same tiny habit every single day.
From 1 sentence over tea to real conversations. That's such a quiet, undramatic kind of success story.
Which might be exactly why it worked. Nothing about it ever felt like a huge commitment she could fail at.
Speaking of brushing teeth, Grace, I have to ask you something. Isn't there a habit you tried yourself? Something small like that?
Actually, yes. A few months ago, I wanted to start flossing. Every dentist told me to, for years, and I never once did it consistently.
What changed?
I stopped telling myself, floss all your teeth every night. Instead, I told myself, just floss 1 tooth. That's it. 1 tooth.
1 tooth?
1 tooth.
Grace, I have to say, that might be the lowest effort dental goal I've ever heard in my life.
And yet, it worked.
Did it actually work, though, or did you just floss 1 tooth for 3 months and call it a personality trait?
No, it really worked. Almost every night, once I started with 1 tooth, I just kept going and did the rest anyway. Some nights I really did stop at 1 tooth, and that was fine too, because the streak stayed alive.
So the tiny goal wasn't really the real goal.
It was just a trick to get me started. Starting is always the hardest part. Once you're already moving, continuing feels almost natural. Standing at the sink with the floss already in your hand is 90% of the battle. The rest just follows.
One tooth. Unbelievable.
There's something even deeper hiding underneath all of this, actually. James, why do you think some people who succeed with a habit describe it so differently? Not, I exercise, but I'm an athlete. Not, I read sometimes, but I'm a reader.
Maybe it's just a confidence thing, like they're proud of themselves.
Close, but it goes a little deeper than pride. It's not just about what they do, it's about who they've quietly decided they are.
So the habit isn't just an action anymore.
It becomes proof. Every small action is a vote for the person you're becoming.
That actually explains something about myself I never understood before. For years, I'd go running sometimes, then stop for months, then start again. I always said, I'm trying to get into running.
And now?
Now I just say I'm a runner. Nothing about my actual running changed overnight, but somehow, once I started calling myself that, skipping a run started to feel wrong, like it was going against who I already was, instead of just missing a task on a list.
So the words came first and the consistency followed.
Strange, but true, at least for me.
I have something similar, actually. For the longest time, I told people I'm learning to cook, almost apologizing for it like I wasn't allowed to claim it yet.
And now?
Now I just say I cook. Not perfectly, not every night, but it's simply true. And oddly, since I started saying it that way, I actually plan meals more and reach for takeout menus less.
So claiming the identity came before you'd fully earned it.
Completely backwards from how I assumed it worked, but yes, I always thought you became something first and then you were allowed to say it. It turns out, sometimes saying it first is what actually pulls you there.
Say that again.
Every small action is a vote for the person you're becoming.
So instead of saying, I'm trying to learn English,
You could start saying, I am becoming an English speaker, even before it feels completely true.
I have a habit to wake up early, actually. Did I say that right?
Wait, did you just say a habit to wake up?
Is that wrong?
Almost right. We usually say, I have a habit of waking up early. Habit takes of and then the ing form of the verb.
Ah, habit of plus ing, not habit to.
Exactly. Small correction, but it makes a real difference in how natural you sound. You could also say, I've gotten into the habit of waking up early, which sounds even more natural in casual conversation.
Noted. So back to identity then. Finish this sentence, everyone, out loud right now. I am becoming someone who...
Take a moment, say it with confidence, even if it doesn't feel completely true yet.
Grace, do you actually track your habits somehow? Like on paper or an app?
I use a simple calendar, actually, just a check mark every day I complete something.
That sounds a little intense, honestly.
It's not intense, it's just a calendar, James.
A calendar you apparently stare at every single night before bed.
Fine, maybe a little intense. But here's the thing. Some evenings I genuinely don't want to practice English at all. But looking at 11 check marks in a row, I can't bring myself to leave day 12 empty.
So it's not motivation keeping you going.
Not even a little. It's stubbornness. I just don't want an empty box on my calendar.
That's such a strange human trick, using your own stubbornness against yourself, in a good way for once.
It really works, though. We usually call this a streak, a series of days in a row where you don't break the habit.
I used to keep a streak like that with running, actually, years ago.
Used to? So you don't anymore?
No, that stopped a long time ago. Used to means something that happened in the past, but not now. Different from I'm used to, which means something feels normal for you currently.
Right. Those two look almost identical in writing, but they mean completely different things.
They really do. Consistency matters more than intensity in the end. A small habit repeated calmly beats one huge burst of effort that disappears after a week.
I actually try to be consistent on my English practice every evening.
Wait, consistent on? I don't think that's quite right.
Isn't it?
We usually say consistent with. I try to be consistent with my English practice. Or even simpler, I practice English consistently, using it as an adverb instead.
Consistent with, not consistent on. Noted. Thank you.
Discipline over motivation, basically.
Exactly that.
All right, let's slow down for a second and go through a few important words from today so you can use them confidently.
First word, habit. Something you do regularly, almost automatically.
Reading before bed is a habit of mine. Or, bad habits are hard to break but not impossible.
Second, consistency. Doing something regularly over time instead of doing it perfectly once.
Consistency matters more than intensity. Or, I struggle with consistency more than motivation.
Third, trigger. Something that reminds you or pushes you to start an action.
Seeing my running shoes is a trigger to exercise. Or, stress is often a trigger for bad habits.
Fourth, streak. A series of days in a row where you complete a habit without breaking it.
I have a 30-day streak of studying English. Or, don't feel too upset if you break your streak, just start a new one tomorrow.
And fifth, discipline. The ability to keep doing something even without feeling motivated.
Discipline matters more than motivation. Or, it takes discipline to practice on the days you don't feel like it.
5 words, but honestly, one sentence matters more than all of them combined. Don't focus only on the goal, build the system.
Let's bring today's episode together now, Grace.
Today, we talked about how small, boring, repeated actions quietly shape an entire life, whether we notice or not.
We talked about habits forming through cues and rewards, about attaching new habits onto old ones, and about becoming, quietly, the type of person we want to be.
And honestly, James, I think the most important part today wasn't any single idea. It was realizing that neither of us needed some dramatic transformation to get where we are now, just small, unremarkable repetitions on ordinary days nobody else even noticed.
One tooth at a time in my case.
One sentence over tea for my friend.
One page of a book for me and my English.
None of it looked impressive while it was happening. It only looks meaningful now, looking backward.
Which might be exactly why so many people give up too early. The middle of a small habit always feels like nothing is happening.
Here's your task for today. Choose one tiny habit, small enough to feel almost silly, and write your own habit stacking sentence in the comments. After I do this thing I already do, I will do this new small thing.
It doesn't need to be impressive, it just needs to be small enough that you'll actually do it tomorrow.
We'll read as many comments as we possibly can.
Maybe you've been waiting for the perfect time to change your life. Maybe you've been waiting to feel more motivated or more confident or more disciplined before you finally start.
But maybe you don't need any of that first. Maybe you just need one small action today, then another tomorrow, and another the day after that.
Because one small habit won't change your life today.
But the person who repeats that habit for a year, that's a different person entirely.
You won't notice the change happening, by the way. That's the strange part. You'll wake up one ordinary morning, do your small habit without thinking, just like brushing your teeth, and it will simply feel like who you are.
No dramatic moment, no single day where everything suddenly clicks into place.
Just quiet repetition, until one day you look back and realize the person doing that habit isn't who you used to be at all.
If today's episode helped you, please subscribe to Spoken English Hour and share it with someone who feels like they need one big dramatic moment before anything can change. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today.
You practiced real English today, and maybe, quietly, you started becoming someone new too.
Goodbye, everyone.
Take care, and we'll see you again soon.